Today we're checking out some of the best cases available for the new iPhone 17 Pro. I'll leave a link to everything covered in today's video in the description down below. So let's go ahead and get started. The tech woven case from Apple. It's actually one of the more interesting cases. Comes in a few different colors. The one shown here is green. It's got the MagSafe charging included. It's a pretty rigid case, flexes a little more on the back where it almost feels like a fabric material. I really like the texture on here. Obviously, depending on what color of iPhone you have, it's gonna look a little bit different. This definitely seems like a good color combination for September and October. It's got a really nice and large lip going around the cameras on the back. Just enough screen protection all the way around. I think they could make the opening for the charging port a little bit larger. You can see they also have the holes for the new strap. Even on the side, it's got a bit of a texture to it. Definitely gives the case a little more extra grip. Doesn't really flex much there on the sides. You can see power and volume buttons are a darker green metal material. You can see it does cover the camera control button a little bit there as well. The buttons also have some decent clickiness to them. Just really nice quality overall, as you would expect from Apple. The magnet could be a little bit stronger, not bad though. Only about 30 grams for the case itself, so definitely one of the lighter cases out there. I feel like this is easily one of the better options out there that's got really good grip for the new iPhone 17 Pro. The official silicone case from Apple is not quite the same orange as the phone. I think it looks pretty good though. Also has the magnet included. You can see it doesn't really flex much on the sides. Probably a little more rigid than you would expect. Plenty of screen protection all the way around. I feel like they could make the opening just a little bit larger for the charging port. Of course, you have the holes for their new strap. Not sure if I would use that, but at least you've got options. You can see how large the lip is that goes around the cameras on the back, so plenty of protection there. The power and volume buttons are covered by the silicone material. Actually has some nice clickiness to the buttons. Camera control button seems to work pretty good on here as well. It's got that soft touch material that's on most silicone cases. I feel like it's got pretty good grip. The magnet on this one actually seems to be stronger than the tech woven case, so that's good to see. So pretty lightweight at only 30 grams, which is the same as the tech woven case. If you're looking for a silicone case, it's gonna be pretty tough to beat this one from Apple. Now if you want something a little more rugged, the Monarch Pro case by UAG actually matches the color a little bit better than the official silicone case from Apple. It might be a hair darker, but actually looks really good in person. It's got a softer TPU material around the edges, but it's super rigid. You can see it's got just enough protection for the cameras on the back. Also has a nice texture on the sides to help give it a little extra grip as well. This one actually has quite a bit of screen protection. This has a much larger opening for the charging port compared to the official cases from Apple. You can also see the camera control button is exposed on this one, so that should make it a little easier to use. Plus the power and volume buttons are nice and chunky. They stick out plenty, so they're easy to locate. The buttons have some nice clickiness to them as well. Camera control button seems to work pretty good on here. Now it is a little bit heavier at 52 grams for the case itself. The magnet on the back seems to be plenty strong enough. It does fall off if I shake it, but still seems pretty good. So if you're looking for a more rugged case, but still somewhat slim, I think this is definitely one of the better options out there. This is probably one of my favorite cases from Torras. It's just got some of the nicest feeling texture on the side, kind of a softer TPU material, but yet almost feels like silicone. You can see the magnets included in the frosted section there on the back. It's also super rigid. It does flex around the edges. Back is sort of a harder plastic. You can see just how large the lip is going around the cameras on the back, so plenty of protection there. Feels like it's got just enough screen protection. You can see it flexes just a little bit on the sides. Nice thing about the buttons, you can actually replace them with different colors. In this case, red or yellow. Probably some of the easiest buttons to use. It doesn't really take much effort, and they've just got nice clickiness to them. Doesn't really take much to use the camera control button. You've also got an oversized cutout for the charging port on the bottom. Also a really nice and strong magnet. Doesn't even fall off when you start shaking it. Only 31 grams for the case itself, so pretty lightweight. Again, probably one of my favorite cases, not only for the iPhone, but some other phones that I've tested recently as well, by Torras. The Pelican Protector case is another one that's a little more rugged, but still fairly thin. Actually has a really nice texture to it. Easily one of the better cases as far as grip goes. Feels like a matte plastic here on the back. The sides have a real grippy material. Also has the magnet included. It does flex a little bit on the sides, but super rigid on the back. You can see it's got a beveled opening for the camera control button, so pretty easy to get to that. I don't know if you can get much better than the buttons on this case. Super easy to use, and they've got some nice clickiness to them. It's got nice screen protection all the way around. Probably one of the more unique cases when it comes to the camera protection. Nice and large opening for the charging port as well. Nice and strong magnet. I actually had to shake this one pretty hard to get it to fall off. But it should work pretty good with MagSafe accessories. It weighs a little bit more at 42 grams. Still pretty lightweight though. If you're looking for something a little more rugged, but still fairly thin, this is definitely one of the better options out there by Pelican. Now, even though this says Beats on it, it's actually made by Apple. This one here comes in several colors. The one shown here is called Granite Gray. It's actually really nice quality. The whole thing is kind of a hard plastic material. I think it has a nice clean design to it. It's actually exposed on the bottom, which is kind of nice for the charging port. I feel like you're gonna get that scratched up a little bit more with that design, but at least it's easy to get to the charging port. It has a really nice and large lip that goes around the cameras on the back. Same color for the buttons on the side. Easily some of the better buttons out there that I've used as far as functionality goes, and they've got really nice clickiness to them. Camera control button seems to work pretty good on here as well. Seems to have plenty of screen protection. I feel like the magnet's pretty strong on here. I did have to shake it pretty hard to get it to fall. Only 29 grams for the case itself, so definitely one of the lighter cases out there. I feel like the only downside to this case, I feel like some people are probably going to think this is a little too slippery because it just feels like a hard plastic material. It's probably going to be personal preference. Overall, nice clean design to it and just a nice option if you only need minimal protection. Now, when I ordered the official clear case from Apple, I don't know why, but I actually thought the entire case would be clear. But as you can see, the bottom section is white with a gray logo. It does have the MagSafe charging included. It's a super rigid, harder plastic shell. The sides do have a little bit of flex to them where the buttons are. I think overall it's a pretty clean design. Probably would look a little better with the silver iPhone. Has a nice and large lip going around the cameras on the back. Plenty of screen protection. It's all exposed here on the bottom. Not sure if I'm the biggest fan of that, but at least it's easy to get to the charging port. Now the power and volume buttons and the action button are all covered by the clear TPU material, but then the camera control button is covered by white. The buttons actually work really good on here and surprisingly have some better clickiness to them than I was expecting. I guess the nice thing about having this white section is you're not really going to see fingerprints in that area. The other thing I'm a little concerned about, just like with most clear cases, it does feel a little bit slipperier than some of the other cases out there, but I guess not bad for a clear case. The magnet could be just a tad stronger, not bad though. Only 31 grams for the case itself, so actually pretty lightweight. Definitely one of the better options out there if you're looking for a clear case for the iPhone 17 Pro. this case by Mouse. It's probably one of my favorites as far as design and how it looks. It has a nice walnut looking wood on the back. I think they just call it brown. They've also got some texture here on the sides, which help give it extra grip. It flexes just a little bit there on the sides. Pretty nice and rigid though. Actually has some extra screen protection on the top and bottom. Nice and large opening for the charging port. I like the rougher texture on the sides. Seems like the buttons stick out plenty on this one, so they're easy to use. Doesn't really take much effort. You can also see there's a nice and large lip that goes around the cameras on the back, so pretty good protection there. It seems to have a really strong magnet on the back, so that's always good to see as well. 38 grams for the case itself, so still fairly lightweight, even though it feels a little bit thicker. Just a really nice case overall that's got good grip, and I just think it looks really nice from Mouse. The Ultra Hybrid MagFit case actually reminds me of one of my favorite cases by Torras. You can see it's a little bit different design for the cameras, but the rest is somewhat similar. This one does have a little bit of flexibility on the sides, harder plastic on the back, also has sort of a soft touch material along the edges. Probably one of the better ones as far as protecting where the cameras are on the back. Plenty of screen protection all the way around. I also like that it's beveled here for the camera control button, so it's going to be a little closer to the actual button. The buttons on the side are covered by that soft touch TPU material. Actually, probably some of the easier ones to use. It's got a nice and large opening for the charging port. Probably a little better protection than the case from Torras. I don't know about you. I kind of like the ones where it's all open for the cameras. It just has a cleaner design to it. I feel like this has pretty good grip overall. Actually really nice and strong magnet on this one. Only 34 grams for the case itself, so just a little bit heavier than the case from Torras. And overall, just a nice option from Spigen for the iPhone 17 Pro. The NanoPop MagFit case from Spigen comes in two different colors. The one shown here is called Blueberry Navy. I don't remember them having accent colors on the buttons. Maybe that's something new they're doing. Looks pretty good though. Pretty minimal screen protection. Nice and large opening for the charging port. Probably more protection around the cameras on this one than some of the others. Has a really nice and thin spot for the camera control button. It's also kind of set in a little bit, so it's actually closer to the button. Power and volume buttons have some nice clickiness to them. Really easy to use, as you would expect from Spigen. It's also nice they still have those little bumps on the sides. Makes it feel almost like sandpaper, and probably one of the grippiest textures you're gonna find on a case. Pretty strong magnet on this one as well. It does weigh a little bit more at 40 grams for the case itself. Overall, just a really nice, somewhat thin case with really good grip from Spigen. The Tough Armor MagFit case is another good option if you want something a little more rugged. It's a hybrid case where the inside's a softer TPU material, has a harder plastic shell that snaps onto the back. Makes it a lot more rigid once you put it together. Probably is a little bit flatter for the screen protection around the edges. I like how they put the little ridges on the action button. I feel like they used to do that on the power button. I feel like they could make the power and volume button stick out a little bit further. They do seem to work pretty good though. Sort of a tapered button for the camera control. I don't know if you can get much larger than this one for the charging port opening. Also has really good protection for the cameras on the back, just like some of the other cases by Spigen. Also has some nice ridges on there as well. You can see it's got a built-in metal kickstand, which gives you a couple different angles. Also has a soft touch material on the back and the sides. I think overall it has a pretty good grip to it. Also has a pretty strong built-in magnet. So of course it's going to work good with MagSafe accessories. Weighs about 50 grams for the case itself, so definitely has a little bit more weight to it. Again, if you want something a little more rugged, but not super heavy, but yet still somewhat slim, I think this one's a pretty good option from Spigen.
So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishby Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.